I am exhausted, but I have missed you and I am back. So, it's Bernadette, and I am here for your Pick a Card Tarot reading on this beautiful Thursday, February 4th, 2021. And, pardon me, I have been stalling just a little bit to say the famous, rise and shine, because guess what? Your card today is the Rooster, the Three of Wands, which really is the rise and shine card. So, man, I know this card like the back of my hand, 50 Ways to Sunday, every single little word, because of the rise and shine symbol. And it's interesting because Spirit has been telling me lately that you guys are really wanting fresher, more relevant to the times, more expansive, meanings and symbolism having to do with the animal spirit guides, with the tarot card meanings, and, still keep it rooted in tradition, recognize where we came from and include those things, but also to add the things that are true for you, who you're reading for at that time, and to encourage you all to expand your own database of symbolism and meanings, whether you're reading for yourself, friends, family, clients, whatever, so that you don't become stuck, mired in, well, this only means this, and this only means this, and this only means this. That it can mean a lot of different things, like the hungry hippo thing. Man, I was reading through some of the emails last night. That was a kooky reading for you. Was a kooky reading for you all, and yet every word of it was true. Every word of it was channeled. So I think maybe this year is going to be the year of some very interesting kind of change in the spirit, totem, and power animal world and in the tarot world for you, because there are some, some maybe unusual, unexpected, surprising things that are happening, and change takes a little bit of time. Adaptation takes a little bit of time. But what I'm being told today for the Rooster, right, as a spirit, totem, and power animal, and the Three of Wands is stick to the tried and true. Stick to the ancient. Stick, not ancient in a negative way, right? Like ancient, like, again, tried and true, traditional, because it's supposed to serve you all very well. So when you take a look at the Three of Wands, tarot card, what you're going to see is you're going to see a fella standing there, and he's got three staffs, three wands, and that could be read as the element of fire. It could be read as the element of air. It depends on who you are and how you're reading the cards. For this particular reading, I do feel like it's a mixture of the fire element and the air element, meaning there's a really nice sized fire. It's big enough to keep you warm, but it's not going to get unmanageable and out of control. And here comes this giant gust of wind, and the next thing you know, the pine tree next to you is on fire, and you're like, running for the hose. Okay, that's something that's happening inside of you. So you've done a great job of relying on your own skills. You're like that rooster. You're like, look at me. And good for you. You deserve it. You know what? Pat yourself on the back. You've accomplished so many things. That said, I just happened to be, and thank you guys for the well wishes on the manatee, manatee expedition that we went on. I'm almost still speechless. I'm exhausted. Man, I used muscles yesterday, stroking through that 34 degree outside in the river, the wind's whipping through there, and the current was, I used muscles I didn't ever even know I had. So, but it was crazy, and I don't want to say too much about it. We'll share just one picture. All right, we'll just share one picture. Wait, where am I? Oh yeah, look over here. And that will give you an idea of how crazy amazing it was. But we're putting a whole video and everything together because there were so many signs through the day, like literal signs. Like, so for instance, the place that we stayed to go on the tour was right off of Kings Boulevard. What's my last name? King. And then we were talking about me and my BFF that goes on these crazy cuckoo adventures with me. We were talking about, ideas for how to do the book of the new deck that's coming out this year that I still can't say anything about. And she literally said two very important words. And I happened to look over because it looked like the car in front of us was coming over into my lane. I'm like, "Ah!" And they weren't, but something out of the corner of my eye, I turned around. I'd be gosh darned if there wasn't two signs right there with exactly the words she had just used, which were the strangest words to be on these signs in the middle of no dang where, because we were driving outside of Williston, Florida, which is nothing but a cow pasture. And I almost wrecked the car. Honestly, I was like, this is too much. It's just too much between yesterday and this morning, and all this is too much. And we both just started laughing and laughed ourselves all the way back to Gainesville. But um, there's something brewing in the spiritual community, the metaphysical community, for sure, the tarot and the spirit animal world community, that it's like there's a fine line between blowing your own horn and blowing hard. And where I'm getting back to that is, last week I went to Rooterville Sanctuary, my enduring love for pigs. And there's a whole video coming out about that and the lessons there and the this and the that. And there we go. There's a picture that'll show you a little bit about what that video is going to be about. And so there was a rooster there. Well, there are a couple of them. And one of them, I don't know what his dealio was, but he kept following us around, following us everywhere we went. And everywhere we went, he had to jump up on a fence and it was fun and cute the first 10 times he did it. But after the 40th and 50th time, I'm like, dude, do you not see it as sunrise? It is not sunrise. It's straight up noon. Enough's enough already, right? So here's the call of the Three of Wands. When you take a look at the staffs this person is holding, the staff behind him, it's planted in the ground, and everything is working out great, right? It shows the skills that have brought you to this point. You're looking out, as the archetype in this card, and you're seeing the big picture. The ships are sailing across clear and calm seas towards distant lands, and the tall mountains are full of opportunity, right? So he's leaning on one staff, and that means that the skills that you've acquired are sufficient enough to support you, like literally. And the staff on the left says things are going to get even better if you just keep doing what you're doing over time. The timing is perfect, right? Astrologically, the Three of Wands tarot card is, if you look at that big sun, shining down on him, that's the sun. The celestial body happens to enter, Aries on March of 21. That's usually around the first day of spring. It's a great time for new beginnings. Everything's flying colors. People are noticing you. You're noticing yourself. You're giving yourself credit. And that's awesome. Just don't take it too far. Meaning, have all the pride you want to have all the confidence you want to have, but just ramp it down a notch a little bit when you are singing your own praises. But the flip side of that is that you are being asked to sing your own praises. And here's what I could say about that. So when we were in Crystal River, my friend that goes with me on these things, she's always telling me everywhere we go, I should stop into a metaphysical store and see if they're carrying the Ark. And I'm like, I'm not going to be a door-to-door salesman. We're not doing that. No, thank you. Let's go find let's go find a nice restaurant. So, or the best bakery in town. So, when we were in Crystal River, okay, that town's about as big as a minute. And the gal at the resort where we were, a resort in Crystal River, okay, that's also about as big as a minute. Real nice place though, and where they launch the boats to go on the tours. Just an amazing experience. And she told us about a little metaphysical store that had just opened, and she showed us some crystals and stuff she bought from there. We were like, ooh. So we nothing we do, we had to go. So we go over to this little store. It's called Moonbeam Crystals. Oh my God, the sweetest place. It's unbelievably merchandised, just very quality, and the most beautiful couple owns and runs this place. Just fantastic people. So I used to own a store, and I was just like, well, hey, can I share any information with you? Because, I had my store for 6 years, so on and so forth. And I gave them all the information, and my friend's looking at me. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, I don't really see anything in here about, shamanism or spirit and totem power animals. And in the back, they had these little just these little, animal shape, different kinds of healing crystals and that kind of thing. Cute, but that was about the only thing in the store. Yeah, well, we really don't know a whole lot about that, but we're trying to get into it. And I said, well, and I told them about the arc. They didn't care. They didn't care until I said, so, last year the ARC was Product of the Year at the Cover Awards and won Tarot of the Year through the Cover Awards and then won Tarot of the Year through the Card Awards. And that's when their head whipped around, because as new store owners, they had at least gotten their way to understand or knowing about the Coalition of Visionary Retailers, which if you're not a member and you want to have some kind of spiritually related business or, a metaphysical store or whatever, I would really look into joining it. There are a lot of crazy good resources there for you. And they knew about that. They didn't know about CARTA, which is part of the International Tarot Foundation. I hipped them to that. And then and only then did I get their attention. So I went in and I got the deck, and then they looked at the deck and they're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. We got to have it. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything else about the arc, although a lot else could have been said. Could have told them about a lot of things, but I stopped right there because that gave them enough interest. They had enough knowledge of the industry behind them to understand what that meant for them potentially, right? But if I had kept going on about it, I would have looked like, nope, don't be that person. And we think we're not that person. But when we're excited and proud about something, it can be super easy to go, to go right off the edge. And I've had those things happen. I've just been so passionate about things or so daggum proud of myself because it was a hard won, victory that I've been like, it's not a good look for me. It's not a good look for most people. But there's something special about this time in your life where as that rooster, you're being asked, son, I'll say son, to be that kind of foghorn leghorn, but don't be a blowhard, if that makes sense. And I'm almost wanting to be led to the sacred scribing thing again because of the wands and how they can mirror, just like swords can, they can mirror or stand for or symbolize writing implements. And in particular, so like the other day, I don't know why Spirit is doing this. I didn't ask, but it's got to be helpful to you. I wouldn't. Spirit has not until just maybe, was it yesterday's reading or the day before or whatever? Those ones that I had to pre-record because of going on the trip. I haven't been asked to like see specifics about, like yesterday or the day before was the green with the dark stripes or the black stripes. And there were a few people in the comments today or yesterday that wrote, yeah, that's what they're wearing, so on and so forth. I think it's today. And now I'm being asked to speak to the people that will very specifically be using medical instruments. And that could be a stethoscope, a scalpel, it could be singing bowls, it could be anything that you might use in Chinese acupuncture, or maybe if you use crystals during Reiki, whatever your healing tools are, I'm being shown this is of particular importance to you. You have got to step up to the plate. You have got to have enough confidence in yourself to stick that chest out, your colors with your, your brilliant colored comb and your brilliant colored feathers, and step out because your work needs to be recognized, maybe only by yourself, meaning not you would be doing it singularly or by yourself or be lonely, but recognized by you and honored by you. But it's for everybody, but it's very specific to the people that are going into healing at this time or think they want to and don't have the courage, or are, maybe you just had some big award, you graduated at the top of your class, you're this, you're that, and now you're looking for places to work and you're wondering why you're maybe not making it past the interviews because nobody likes an egotistical maniac. And so don't do that, but neither does a prospective employee or employer or a prospective client want to see somebody that is so maybe doesn't show that they are a really confident person. I wouldn't want to put my health in somebody like that's hands. I wouldn't. And I got to believe other people wouldn't either. But the overall message is whatever you're doing, you're doing great. And you do have cause to like puff up your chest and make that rooster call. And maybe that's something you could do for yourself for the next, few days, is when you get up in the morning, you clear that throat chakra. You stretch a little bit, get your chakras all unknotted from sleeping, and, drink something to clear your throat and throw your head back and be like, and just let her rip, and get that throat chakra spinning with what it is that comes out of the throat for roosters, which is rise and shine, right? And it's, I'm here, I'm the big man on the campus, the big woman, the big they, I'm the big person on campus. It's, I'm large and in charge. And that's it. Just do more of what you're doing, and it's all going to work out, and it's going to be great. So I love you guys. Thank you again for all of your kind, just really generous wishes that I have a good time, and suffering through. Oh my God. All my getting the days wrong and the dates wrong and then this wrong, y'all. I was tired as I could be, and I had my mind on one thing, those manatees. And I'm shutting my mouth because you're going to flip out. You are going to flip out when you see this video and you hear the story. I'm still flipped about it. So, pick up, hold on. Let me do my own marketing like I tell y'all to do. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Get yours today. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the metaphysical madness that goes on here. All right, you guys. I love you. And what is your most important job? Is you're singing your own praises and doing more of the things that you're already doing great? To stay wild.